After frickin' half hour of waiting for Sports Center and then another 54 minutes for them to finally post something on it, the schedule has finally been released. AJ and I have some things to say about it and more right now on Teal Town Live. Good afternoon, everyone. It is July 22nd, 2021. We are here to plan your life for the next 10 months, or maybe 11. That would be nice. Welcome to Teal Town Live. This is your live interactive Sharks schedule show. Chat with us and fellow Sharks fans on the page or the app. And Teal together and interact with us, along with us on the social, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, SoundCloud, Reddit, and, of course, Discord. And find everything at tealtownusa.com. Good afternoon, everyone. Erik Kuhre alongside AJ Strong. AJ, we try to hold each other back from saying things we were going to say for here, but my goodness, this schedule, yikes.
No, sir, I don't like it. This is some silliness in here. Give me a break. Like, who had COVID and drew this up?
Right? Yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like, my goodness, you're going to be finished with Montreal within a month. You'll be finished with Winnipeg in San Jose in a month. So, unfortunately, since the NHL, first off, AJ, before we get into it, Unloaded Panda wants to have you show the jersey.
Show the jersey, dude.
The reverse stealth is what you call it?
No, stealth inversion. So we got we got the groovy little stealth patch on the shoulder, of course, and then
there you go. Nice.
And then of course, and it wouldn't be awesome unless we showed the back, right?
Oh yes, Mr. Youngest of Plugs himself, Mario Ferraro.
Yeah. No. And hey, want to buy a jersey, custom warm up? Hit me up, AJ_Strong on Twitter. Just saying. So let's get that out of the way. Are you kidding me with this? Let's just tackle October. I mean, yeah. Jesus Christ. 2 versus Winnipeg, 2 versus Montreal, and we haven't seen a divisional opponent yet.
But granted, the 5-game road trip, which is usually their typical roadie, but this one's a little different. They get into what used to be the Northeast Division and then hit up Nashville on the way home.
Yeah, and I look at this and I go, okay, hosting Winnipeg, Sharks could have a good shot at that. Perhaps. Montreal, I think we all can say that, hey, Montreal was kind of, look, I'm not going to call them St. Louis from a couple seasons ago, but the fact that they got to the final, nobody is predicting them to go to even to the playoffs next season. So you look at that and you go, okay, not bad. Then at Ottawa, decent, one of 4 teams that finished worse than San Jose last season. So, okay. Then at Toronto, well, no Marleau or Thornton to talk about in that one, but you look at that and you go, could be a loss. Then at Boston, could be a loss. Then at Nashville, so it's like Montreal, Ottawa, Toronto. Let's hang out in the the northeastern quadrant and then drop down to the basement. Okay, sure. But I look at, let me see, what do we got here in October? 2, 4, 6, 8 games in October. 2 Winnipeg, 2 Montreal, Ottawa, Toronto, Boston, and Nashville. I said it before. 8 games. I'm looking at that and I'm saying 3 and 5.
Yeah.
Maybe 4 and 4 if they get lucky.
Yeah.
But I look at this and I say 3 and 5. Like, you look at it, so, well, 2 against Montreal, 1 against Ottawa. Okay, I think that the Sharks can win those.
Yeah.
The rest of them, I go, I don't know.
You're unsure for sure. I mean, Ottawa could be a little bit more stronger now that they have, a
Stutzla,
a Norris, and his troll. But again, Nashville, where are they going now? They didn't lose Duchesne or Johansson, but they lost Callie, my boy Callie. There.
Well, and let's see what happens on October 21st when the Sharks face Ottawa Ottawa. Let's see what color jersey Tierney's wearing in that game.
But my question is, I think you said it wrong. Isn't it Ottawa?
Oh, that's right. Ottawa. Well, it's a Ottawa on the pucknology.
Oh, my bad. Okay.
But
my apologies to Hockey Jerk.
Anyway, you're basically done with two teams in the first month. You still haven't seen a divisional opponent in October.
No.
But fine. You get rid of a 5-game road trip early. There's only, 3 5-game road trips in this schedule, and they're all done by December 5th. So I look at that and I go, okay, I guess you can put that in the W column.
Yeah.
Sure. So after that, we get into November. Yeah. And so the Sharks then have a 5-game homestand. Again, end of October, hosting Montreal, hosting Winnipeg, Buffalo, St. Louis, and New Jersey.
Hey, we got a Western Conference opponent in there November
4th. Yeah, at least they're in the same conference, right?
Yeah.
But, it's like I sit there and I go, Buffalo? Okay, if that's not a win, Jesus Christ, how bad is this team going to be?
Let's put it that way. If it's not a win and they start 3-6, like you said, is Bugner still here?
Yeah. Still, this year, next year, still on his deal. That's too early to pull the plug, I think. But then again, we saw this team, pull the ripcord after 4 games and say, "Fetch me Patrick Marleau," when things weren't going well. So,
right.
Look, we'll see what happens. But then Thursday the 4th, hosting St. Louis. I'm going to put that as an L right now. Now, granted, I'm saying all these things when we know that the rosters could change significantly between now and opening night, but I'm just being honest. Then after that, the 6th, it's New Jersey. If that's not a win, yikes. And then finally, on November 9th, when we get 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 games in, we finally see a divisional opponent in the Calgary Flames. And the Flames are a weird bunch so far. And again, things are going to change dramatically between now and opening night. But there's a lot of people saying that Calgary, I'm listening to NHL radio, and you've got guys on there that are saying, oh, dude, I think Pacific, Vegas, Edmonton, then could be Calgary, maybe Vancouver, one of those two. And I'm going, what? But okay. And then there's other people going, yeah, Calgary could sit there and try to dawdle between the California teams because they're not going to be good. So, it remains to be seen. But either way, 12 games in before you even see a divisional opponent. Okay, fine. And then following that is the 3rd and final game versus Winnipeg.
Right.
and you're all done with the Jets. Man, the West Side Story concluded very quickly.
Just quickly done by there. It's like crazy. Here, Anthony Sanchez says, hey, maybe the Sharks will pull off a crazy turnaround like how the Giants are doing this year. Yeah, it'll be also a quick turnaround. Playing the Jets this season. My God.
It's insane. Whoever put this schedule together had COVID. That's all I'm saying. Going through the divisions really quickly, though. 4 against Anaheim, 4 against Calgary, 4 against LA, and 4 against Seattle, whereas they only play 3 Edmonton, 3 against Vancouver, 3 against Vegas. So I just wanted to drop that in there. Let's move on through the rest of November here. So that 12th game, again, 12 games until you hit a divisional opponent. That's at Calgary. Then there's another 12 games before you hit a divisional opponent again. And oh, yes, it's Calgary again. I mean, are you kidding me?
Seriously.
And so this 5-game road trip starting on November 9th, at Calgary, at Winnipeg. Absolutely. That makes sense. Then at Colorado. Okay, sure.
Oh, my God.
I mean, that's not a horrible road trip.
No, that's not too
At
bad.
at Minnesota, at St. Louis.
Okay, wait a
And I'm
minute.
like, well, they're all like kind of in the same time zone, so I'm okay with that road trip.
Yeah, but no, but think about it. That's you remember years ago we talked about how they went to like Chicago, then Winnipeg to Vancouver, back to Winnipeg and Minnesota, and then home. That's kind of what I look at it here. You're going to southern Alberta to Manitoba. Makes sense. Then you come back down to Colorado, and then back over from Minnesota to St. Louis, and then you come
Eh,
home. Come
I
on.
don't have that big of a problem with that. I don't have that big of a problem at all, especially because there's 2 days between Colorado and Minnesota. So I don't have much of a problem with that. Then on the 20th, the Sharks pick up a 4-game homestand. And now that I'm looking at this, let me see, one, two, three. So there's a 5-game homestand for the Sharks after the 5-game roadie. Then they go on a 5-game roadie. Then it's a 4-game homestand. Okay, fine. Then a 5-game roadie, but then it's what, three, four, five, six, a 7-game homestand. That's pretty nice. And then it's kind of sprinkled about throughout the rest of it. So if the Sharks coming up into New Year's can take advantage of, these segmented blocks where there's going to be limited travel. It's like you're going to be on the East Coast, Montreal, Ottawa, Toronto, Boston. That's like maximize that value. And there's only one back to back in there, Ottawa and Toronto in that first month. So that's not bad. When they go on the next road trip, it's Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, so every other night, but then Tuesday, Thursday, so they get an extra day there, which I'm sure will be spent practicing the power play. But you have that. Then their next significant road trip at the end of November, beginning of December, at Chicago, at New Jersey, at Islanders, at Rangers, at Columbus. I see no issues with that road trip. Again, there's only one back-to-back in that segment, and it's New York to New York. I think they're going to be okay. So on that part, getting into the beginnings of December, I don't have a large issue with this schedule, aside from the fact that we still, through December 5th, have played one divisional opponent. This is insane. I've never seen a schedule like this.
No. And it's only one team, and it's that one game at Calgary. I've
Yeah.
never that.
This is so bizarre.
It,
Go ahead.
sorry, I was gonna say. I wonder what they were trying to do here was, in case shit hit the bed for that Delta variant, then they went right to a divisional format in like beginning of January. That's the only way I could potentially see it, because I'm looking at it. You're finishing. You play the Flyers. As we get into December, you play the Flyers within 8 days, and it's just you play Detroit within a week.
Yeah, but I still go back to look, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I'm looking at the schedule, and I'm like rolling my pen up, and I'm rolling it up, and I'm like, okay, March 15th, Florida comes to San Jose. That's the only team, until January 26th. There's Boston, but Florida is like in March. They're the last East Coast team to make it out to the West Coast.
Yeah.
Like I look at this and it's like, okay, let's talk about the teams from the East that have to play out West. Well, let's see. Montreal in October, Buffalo in October. Let's see. Washington in October, Carolina, October, Ottawa, Toronto. I'm sorry.
November.
Washington, Carolina, Ottawa, Toronto in November.
Yep.
Like I'm looking at the Rangers in January, Philadelphia at the end of December, Pittsburgh in January, Tampa in January, Islanders in January, Boston in January. By the time you hit the All-Star break or Olympic break, whatever the hell is going to happen, because we don't know at this point.
Right.
But by the time you hit that break, 3 East Coast teams come out. that are in the Eastern time zone. That's, to me, look, I would not have a problem seeing, take October, take that schedule, put it in April, where Montreal, Ottawa, Toronto, Boston all come out to the West Coast. Try to even it up a little bit, guys.
Yeah.
But anywho.
Moving on.
Yeah, let's get back into this. So, like I said, the Sharks have a homestand at the end of November. Washington, Carolina, Ottawa, Toronto. Sounds fun. Yeah. Looking forward to whatever the promotional items are during those nights.
So the Chicago Thanksgiving Eve game has been replaced by Ottawa.
I'm fine.
All right.
I have no problem with that.
No.
Let me see. And see, there's other things, because can we just say a word to fuck you, ESPN? I mean, Jesus Christ. Like, there was audio issues all up and down the board during the Kraken draft yesterday.
Right.
Then today it's supposed to be, well, the schedule is released, all schedules released at 3 p.m. Pacific. And then all of a sudden it fell to 3:30. And then when ESPN finally got to it, it was like, oh, we're just going to give you marquee matchups. We're not actually releasing team by team. Right. And then when did the Sharks finally post theirs?
3:54.
Christ.
Now, AJ, you and I both get the press release emails. If you go to the email where it says for a full link of the schedule, click here. If you click on it, the schedule's still not up.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
So for some of you, this is exclusive.
Yeah, no shit. So anyway, end of November, like you said, Ottawa the night before Thanksgiving. Again, that is something that I do like to see, that has become kind of a staple in the household, is that that's how you celebrate Thanksgiving, is you go to a Sharks game the night before.
Right.
Always enjoy that. Then you've got, once that's all kind of completed, Sharks on a road trip. Again, Chicago, Jersey, Islanders, Rangers, Columbus. That I have no problem with that road trip.
That's actually a fun road trip. It's too bad that it's after Thanksgiving, because that would be the rodeo I'd love to go to.
Well, that I'm sure that's going to be solid.
Yeah.
Then you have what appears to be the longest homestand of the season for the Sharks, hosting Calgary, then Minnesota, then Dallas, then Seattle, then Vancouver again, then Edmonton, and then they go to Anaheim. Okay, so hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so 7-game homestead. But somebody, dude, help me out. Okay, I'm looking at the schedule,
right,
and I'm going Calgary 2 days later, Minnesota 2 days later, Dallas 3 days later, Seattle. Like, that all makes sense. 2 days later, Vancouver, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. 5 days later,
right,
the Sharks host the same fucking team.
And then 2 nights later, you get McJesus and the Oilers, and then
dude, I don't even give a shit about that.
No,
like I'm fine with this, like 5 straight against divisional opponents. I want to know how we heard from Gary Bettman that the whole idea of these like mini series where it's like, hey, you go to Arizona, play 2 games, whether it's back-to-back nights or Tuesday, Thursday, whatever. But it was this idea of knocking out a couple games in the same city.
Yep.
You decrease travel, so it's like you're going to save a little money in hotel rooms. You're going to save money on gas on the plane. You're going to lower your carbon footprint. Like, it sounded great. And looking at the schedule, there are literally there is one time in the entire goddamn schedule that they have this opportunity to play the same team back to back at the same venue.
Yeah.
This is, and to have Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, 4 days. But are you going to tell me that the Canucks are going to stay in San Jose for 5 fucking days? No, they're not.
They're going to fly back up.
Oh, I guarantee you, in between there, the Vancouver's playing a game at home, or they're like, LA or SoCal. Like, there's what?
Watch, they put it back to back in SoCal for them for there.
I would hold on.
I'm going to look it up right now. Go
Dude,
ahead.
do me a favor. Look up the Canucks schedule. Tell me what the hell is happening between December 16th and the 21st. Because there's no way they're not playing at least one, maybe two games in between there. That is just the dumbest thing I've seen in this entire schedule. Right. That you're hosting the same team.
So
it's 5 days later.
So you're right. So Thursday, December 16th at San Jose. Saturday, December 18th, home to Toronto. And then the next night, they're home to Arizona. Then they come back down to San Jose.
Oh, my God.
But wait, it gets better. 2 days later, they fly back up. 2 nights later, they play at home against Anaheim.
For fuck's sakes.
But,
all right.
But getting to it further, though, AJ, they play the Canucks on the 16th, the Canucks again on the 21st, the 23rd they play Edmonton, then the league-mandated shutdown from the 24th to the 26th for Christmas, and then they come back. So basically, between the 16th and the 27th, they're playing 4 games. Don't tell me they're going to be sluggish for the second Vancouver game and the Edmonton game, with having 4 days off, then have to get up for 2 games in 3 nights, and then they go on another 3-day break.
Oh, dude, I feel like they're going to be dragging ass in December between the 2 Vancouver games in Edmonton, because you're talking 3 games over 8 days.
And then they're
going to be like, yeah, dude, if the power play does not kick ass after that, I'm just saying, like you want to talk about building practice into the schedule. Now, and the reason why I say that is because
how much we heard about they didn't have enough time to practice.
Right?
Exactly.
And yesterday, when Doug Wilson Jr. and Tim Burke held a media call, we were on that call, and I specifically asked Doug Wilson, you've clearly seen the schedule before it's been released. Are there some pockets there that, how many times have we heard that it's like, well, we just don't have the opportunity to practice. The schedule's so compacted and blah, 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 blah. And this is before COVID.
Yeah.
That, so I look at that and it was like 3 games in 8 days. Dude, your special teams better be money. Like right there. I look at that and we're talking what? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30. You're talking 30-ish, early 30s, right? 32, right. 33 games in. At that point, there's going to be things that as fans we're sitting there going, yeah, this power play is horrific, or the penalty kill is shit, or wow, Aiden Hill is not he's no better than Martin Jones. Like there's going to be some significant thing that we're all going to fucking harp on as the silly season of Christmas approaches. That's going to be the time that we talk about it.
Big time. They have time to get their crap together there, and come on, let's go. Still an update, AJ. We still don't have the schedule posted on the website.
Of course not. So anyway, to finish out December after this beautifully long road trip, and again, this is something that we talked about, I think either last season before, somewhere in there, where December was it December? Remind me, you have a much better memory than I do. There was a season where the Sharks played, I don't know if it was in November or December. It was one of the two, but they played a string of games where they never left the Pacific time zone until the very end of it when they played at Arizona. So it was only, an hour earlier, and it was a very quick flight.
Yeah, it was November, and I want to say it involved...
2019?
It's either 2019 or 2018, where they played like a boatload of home games. I remember they had a Black Friday game after they came back from Vegas. Or some sort of that. But yeah, where they didn't leave the time zone for like a month.
Yeah. So this December is very close to that, where the 7th they start on this 4-game homestand, and then after Christmas, they jaunt down to Anaheim for a quickie and then come back Arizona and Philadelphia. So kind of similar. That's, again, it's going to be that month that we look at and say, this is the make or break time.
Yeah.
Then to start 2022 at Pittsburgh, at Detroit, at Buffalo, at Philly. Now,
God.
yeah,
What?
I look at that and I'm like, we couldn't have started in Detroit, gone to Buffalo, then Philly, then Pittsburgh,
Yeah.
or something along those lines. But,
No.
we're going to make it the most difficult road,
This is what I'm saying. I mean, that's 2 road trips in this season where they're ending up like that.
Yeah, no, it's really fucking stupid where it's like, we're going to go almost as far east as we can. Then we're going to go west. Right. Then we're going to go north. Then we're going to go further east. And then we'll come home.
Skylar saying it was November 2019 that we had that.
There you go.
Time. Yep. Thank
you. Now,
Skylar.
Granted, there's a day in between each one of those games. So it should be fine. But still, you look at that and you go, Jesus Christ. Then this is another one of those weird quirks where you only see Detroit twice, but you see them 7 days apart. At Detroit on the 4th, and then hosting Detroit on the 11th. Okay, sure. Moving on, the Sharks, it's a 4-game homestand. Detroit, the Rangers, Pittsburgh, and LA. And again,
oh, hey, LA.
But it's another thing of then it's like I just mentioned, Detroit twice in less than a week, and then Pittsburgh twice in 2 weeks.
Right.
Okay. But then, yes, we on the Monday the 17th, I don't have the calendar in front of me. It would not surprise me if that's a 1:00 game, if that's an MLK.
That might be MLK game.
It wouldn't surprise me, especially since you're playing LA, a Western team. Mm-hmm. So look for that when the times are finally introduced, because if you look at the sheet here, it's all TBA.
Right.
But the Sharks don't face LA until the new year, until 2022. Okay. Again, very weird. And that's the whole thing. Can everybody see my screen right now? Can you guys see this? Look at all the orange marks, because there's not a lot of them. There are not a lot of orange marks here, because that is divisional opponents. And then let me flip it around. Holy shit, look at all the orange there.
Which is nice. I mean, traditionally, the Sharks have always started having a boatload of games on the road. This one seems a little more balanced, but yeah, you're definitely staying over more so in your time zone the second half of the year.
I just like it that the Sharks are going to get through 41 games, not, half the schedule. They're not going to see the Kings throughout that. And then within a calendar month, they're going to play all 4 against LA. Okay. So anyway, starting off the new year, like I said, halfway through the new year, they start a homestand, 4-gamer, Detroit, Rangers, Pittsburgh, LA. Then they head up to Seattle for a quickie.
That's
no problem.
That's their first game in Seattle.
Yes.
January 20th. Their first game, it should be noted, December 14th, they play Seattle at home. That's their first game against the Kraken, for sure. Sorry, I wanted to make sure that got mentioned.
No, absolutely. So that's the first one against LA. Then again, weird scheduling aside, that's on a Monday. Then 3 days later on Thursday, they head up to Seattle for their first game at, what is it?
Climate Pledge Arena.
Well, that's not what Bettman called it.
Oh, Climate Change Arena is what.
There you go.
Climate Change Arena. The game has never been stronger.
Right? So they head up there for a Thursday game. It would have been nice if they could have done it the day earlier, I suppose, because they have to come back to San Jose to host Tampa on the 22nd and then fly to the East Coast, or I should say Southeast, for now. At least this one kind of makes sense. No, actually it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Geographically, this is another retarded schedule where it's at Washington on a Wednesday, then they're off Thursday and Friday, and they play at Florida. Now, if you're geographically familiar, you understand that the Panthers play at the lowest part of Florida. So you kind of sit there and go, Oh, okay, cool. Because then they'll come back north on their way home. So what do? They go up to Carolina and then boom, back down to Tampa.
What the fuck?
And
What the fuck?
Florida and Carolina are back to back.
What the fuck? I
Yeah,
mean, seriously, I don't curse
that's fucking stupid.
I try not to curse on the show, but seriously, this is the third road trip where they're zigzagging all over the frickin' place. Like,
Yeah.
come the frick on! This is ridiculous.
And then to top, to put the cherry on the shit Sunday, the Sharks finally play the Vegas Golden Knights on March 1st. So let me put 5 months of the season have passed before you even see Vegas.
Yeah. So
like the biggest division rival.
Right. So February 1st at Tampa Bay, then the All-Star Weekend festivities on February 4th and 5th in Las Vegas. Hey, AJ, guess where the Pro Bowl is this year?
I want to say Vegas.
Yes.
And I want to say it's like the day after.
The day after the NHL All-Star Game. If you want to go to the All-Star Game and Hockey Jerk won't allow you to stay in his place.
At hockey_jerk.com. No, not .com, just on Twitter. At hockey_jerk. If you would like to go to the NHL All-Star Game, have a place to stay, and attend the Pro Bowl for the NFL, you can stay on a Hockey Jerk's couch. It's only $1,000 a night, and the continental breakfast includes Fruit Loops and last night's pizza.
Don't forget the roller.
And that sip, that Coca-Cola sip. You'll get a sip of Coca-Cola.
I don't have a can, but
it's all good. Yeah. It's all good. That's what you can get. So hit up hockey_jerk if you would like to stay in Vegas during that time.
Oh my God. So it goes into that, and then they have the 3-week break for the Olympics. Now, let's preface this as well. This is the public schedule that we have. If the NHL, who still hasn't decided whether or not they want to send their players to Beijing for the Olympics, we all know how well it's going for Tokyo so far, and they haven't even lit the cauldron yet.
Dude, no fans, no piped-in noise.
You wonder, and I wonder what they'll do if they're.
I don't care.
No, but it changes the schedule a bit, so that should be interesting if that happens. So
how's it going to change the schedule?
Well, they'll compress it down. They'll compress it and finish.
What are they going to do? Like move like the final 4 games into that week?
Maybe. Oh, well, you have 3 weeks to cover. You're going to tell me that the league execs are going to say, "Hey, yeah, we'll just take a 3-week break."
So the final 7 they'll just shift.
Maybe they'll shift that. We don't know.
All right, and I'm fine with that. I have no problem with that.
But that's
to be honest, I don't have any problem with a 3-week break. I wish they would build this into every season of NHL, but because by the time we reach that point in February, I'm fucking tired of hockey. I would welcome the break, but anyway.
Hopefully the Barracuda are playing by then. And by the way, the Barracuda schedule comes out tomorrow.
There you go. So anyway, end of January, like we were talking about, Washington, Florida, Carolina, Tampa, again, another retarded road trip. Then after the Olympic break, it's hosting the Isles, Boston, and Seattle. Fine. No problems with that. Of note, Boston and Seattle are back-to-backs for the Sharks. Big deal. Then, like I said, the Sharks finally go. Now, wait a minute. Hold on. No, because I gotta do the math here. 2022. No, because this is significant.
Right.
I want to say no, but yeah, 2022 is not a leap year. It's 2024.
Correct.
Okay, so that's what I wanted to make sure that there's not an extra day built in there. So yeah, January 27th they play Seattle, February 27th Seattle.
Right.
February 28th. Off, of course, but there is no February 29th this year. So then that Tuesday, boom, they find at Vegas playing the Golden Knights for the shit. You might not recognize anybody by that time. It's been so long since you've seen them.
By then, that might be where the trade deadline is.
Yes, but let's talk about the first half of March, which is by far easily the most retarded part of this schedule. Oh my! And if you're triggered by that word, listen to another podcast, please.
Wait, what?
At Vegas on the 1st. Then you're off Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Again, time to practice your special teams. Then you host the Predators, who are projected to be shit. But then you're off for 3 days, and then you have to play back-to-backs, hosting Nashville, then go down to Anaheim.
Wait, gets better.
And then you're off for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. You're off for 3 days, and then you play at LA. What the fuck are you doing those 3 days, man?
You're going to Disneyland and Universal?
Oh my God. Do me a favor. Pull up LA and Anaheim schedule for the, the first half of March. Because this is the dumbest fucking thing I've ever seen. Holy shit, this is so stupid. And there was all that talk from Gary Bettman saying, the miniseries, it's popular with fans, it's popular with players. Again, reduces the carbon footprint, reduces travel, reduces wear and tear on the players because they don't have to be, shuttling from hotel to hotel to hotel. And what is there on this schedule? There are literally 2 times that the Sharks play the same opponent back to back.
Yeah.
Again, December 16th, then 4 days off.
This schedule's awful.
Then the Canucks again. And then you look at this shit at Anaheim on the 6th.
Yes. And then
off Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then at LA. Are you fucking kidding me?
So for Anaheim, in that sense, they come back from the Olympic break.
Olympic break? We're already into March.
No, I know,
dude.
but they have a 5-game homestand. It ends with the Sharks on the 6th.
Okay.
And then they go on a road trip starting in Chicago March 8th.
Okay, what the fuck is happening with LA starting on the 6th?
That's what I'm looking up right now.
Holy shit. How is it that there's a 5-day break between being in SoCal? You know what? Hey, boys, Karlsson's going to take you on a fucking tour of the Santa Monica Pier.
All right. And then
everybody's going to Disneyland. Remember when Ron Wilson took everybody to curling in Winnipeg? No, fuck that. We're all going to Disneyland for like 3 days straight.
Okay. So, so they come back from their Olympic break. Here's the thing.
You're talking about the Kings.
I'm talking about the Kings. Their last game before they go on the Olympic break, and the All-Star game, is January 20th against Colorado.
Jesus.
Then they come.
Did they get like a month and a half off?
Then they come back February 26th. Oh God. And then they play They play February 26th and February 28th, and then they're off again until March 10th.
Hold on. Oh my God.
They play 2 games in February. Total. 2 games in February, and then they're off for another week.
Hold on. Are those 2 games against Boston and Seattle by any chance?
Boston and the Islanders.
I wonder why Seattle was
Oh
either way.
my
Dude.
God, what in
so
the world?
the fact of the matter, it's like they play Anaheim on the 6th, at Anaheim on the 6th, then at LA on the 10th. Then they host LA 2 days later on a Saturday, and then they host Florida on a Tuesday, fine. And then they go back to LA on Thursday. What the fuck? They literally play LA 3 times in the span of 8 days.
Oh, man.
8 days, twice in LA, once here, and they can't figure out, like, hey, maybe we should flip Saturday the 12th and Thursday the 17th. Like, maybe we play at LA on the 10th and 12th and then host the Kings on the 17th. Because that way it gives San Jose a 4-game homestand. And again, you save money on hotels, gas, the carbon footprint, all those things.
What carbon footprint? Take that, climate pledge.
Dude.
I mean, AJ,
To me, that is the dumbest fucking part of this schedule by far. Like,
and there's a lot of dumb
not even
stuff.
it's not even up for debate.
No,
How
but
do you not flip those two dates, the 12th and the 17th?
but you hit it on the point, AJ. First off, how many times do we have we talked about? Wow, we would love a back-to-back Anaheim, LA. Yeah, we get it, but there's 4 days in between it. Secondly, you talk about their NHL Green Initiative and then having one of their arenas being called the Climate Pledge Arena. And here's a prime example of, okay, so if I want to go to Anaheim in LA, I got 3 days to kill. What am I going to be doing?
Yeah,
It's like, come on.
Disneyland, whatever, blah blah blah. But
Yeah,
here's the other thing. Here's the other thing, and this is something that I have been on the fucking rails for
Oh my god.
forever. Okay. What the Sharks play at Anaheim,
Mm-hmm.
right? 4 times this year. Yes.
Really?
Those days, yes, 4 times. Those days at Anaheim. Well, okay. I'm sorry. They don't play at Anaheim. They play Anaheim 4 times this year. But the dates that they play at Anaheim, Monday
and Sunday.
Sunday.
Ugh.
LA. When do they play there? Thursday and Thursday. But when they host LA and Anaheim, what are the Monday?
Which might be a holiday.
Yeah, which is very likely a holiday. Saturday,
Mm-hmm.
Saturday, Tuesday. But so my point being is that if you're a fan in SoCal and you want to do something fun for the weekend, hey, let's go up to San Jose and watch a game. You know, drive up early on Saturday, fuck around San Pedro Square, do our deal, and then boom, have a good time at the game, drive back tomorrow morning. Fantastic. If you're a San Jose fan and you'd like to see a game in Southern California on the weekend, good luck, motherfucker, because there aren't any.
But
Are you kidding me?
But go figure, you're only playing Vegas 3 times, and one's on a Tuesday in Vegas. The one, am I reading this right, AJ?
No, there's Tuesday, Sunday, and Sunday.
So we're only playing Vegas 3 times this year, and there's only one game in San Jose against Vegas.
I have no problem with that because, you know, with 32 teams in the league, you had to change shit up. Now, let me ask you this.
Jesus.
Because
what
of this,
no.
So how many times do we face Colorado?
Oh, we play Colorado 3 times.
Okay. That's what I'm saying is, it's already fait accompli. The Eastern teams, you know, the Metro and the Atlantic, we're only seeing them, you know, twice. Once home, once away. The Central.
Wait. Oh, no, I got it. It picked up Columbus. My bad.
Yeah. But the Central, you know, so Winnipeg 3 times, Colorado 3 times. Would you prefer that each division, they only play outside their division once home and once away, and then the remainder go within your division? Or would you prefer the schedule that they have now, where it's Eastern side, Atlantic and Metro, 1-1,
Mm-hmm.
Central, basically 3, but, you know, every year it's going to switch. You know, one year you host twice, they host once, and then the next year you host once, they host twice, and then the remaining are sprinkled in the Pacific.
Let me ask you with this.
Answer my question first, motherfucker.
Well, my point is that, you know, it's stupid. They should play at least everybody once at home. That's the biggest thing of mine. But you're in the but the Western Conference, you should be. Yeah, I guess I'll deal with you know, playing the Central 3 times. You know, some twice at home, some twice on the road. But honestly, I think you need to go. So you're telling me that Vegas comes to the tank as many times as a division rival, and remember, they want to build the division rivalries up, right, AJ? He's going to come in one time.
No, this is my question. But this is my question: is There's now with Seattle in, there's 24 teams outside the Pacific. Yay?
Yay.
Okay, so 48 games if you go one there, one home.
And then you have the remaining 34.
Spread amongst your division.
No, I think they just need to expand the schedule.
Well, no, seven goes into 34 how many times?
Almost 5.
Essentially 5. Yeah. So would you prefer that they play every team in there, save one, you play or for the betterment of the league, you only play 4 preseason games and you expand
that might be a good idea.
The schedule to 85.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And so that way you see everybody 5 times, and so there's 4 teams you see twice No, 3 times at home, twice on the road, and then the other ones it's vice versa.
Right.
I mean, there's that, or you make it so you see the teams in the Central, 2 or 3 times, and again you alternate, 2 there, 1 at home, 2 home, 1 there, but then again that tweaks your schedule. See, I kind of like the idea of seeing the Central more, like having 3 games, but because I think it's a better way to kind of set the barometer for where your team is at.
Absolutely.
If you, especially, the Pacific is projected to be a very weak division. So, if you keep playing shit teams and you're like, hey, we beat some shit teams. Well, it's a, that kind of there's false sense of security.
Well, you look at everybody calling shit about Toronto in the North Division. Oh, they had a weak division. And then some people were thinking, well, maybe it wasn't a weak division. Maybe it was actually the Honda West Division, hashtag no free ads, that was the weak division.
No, it was. It sucked.
And but to me, you need to get everybody in your barn. You need to get I would love for it to be twice for your Central Division teams, but you have to see everybody in your division at least twice in your barn.
No, you brought up a good point. No. Not every division.
No. I'm sorry. Your division.
Your division. Conference. Your conference.
You need to see them twice in your own barn. At least.
Yeah, the division, yeah. So that's what I'm saying is that I think what they're doing now, I think is probably the right way. I would rather see, Colorado at San Jose twice than, if that means that I see 1 less game against Anaheim. I think it's a better barometer. I would prefer the idea rather than having 48 games against the other 3 conferences and then the rest spread among the division. No, I would rather take 16 games against the Eastern conferences and then 24 games against the Central and then the rest spread among the Pacific.
I think they need to reconfigure their formula. They need to get 2 games in, you're in Vegas twice a year. You're in Anaheim twice a year. Because what, like you said,
well, no, that's something that's going to rotate every year because next year, because right now 3 against Edmonton, 3 against Vancouver, 3 against Vegas. Next year that's going to change and it's going to be 3 against Calgary, 3 against Anaheim, 3 against Seattle. But there will be 4 against Vegas and 4. So I think it all comes out in the wash.
Yeah, I think if they're smart at the NHL, which so far they haven't been the last few days, they need to expand the schedule, reduce the preseason games, get in.
But when you say expand the schedule, we're talking like 1, 2, maybe 3 games.
At the max 4. The max 4.
See, to me, I'm going 85 tops.
Yeah, I'd go 86. That way you get a balance of 43 at home and away.
I think that's too much.
But I think we're on to a new project for the off season after free agent frenzy, my friend.
Yeah. Okay. So
Moving
let's finish out let's get past the retardation of this 3 and fucking 4 games against LA over 8 days. Then it's a hodgepodge of away and home. Colorado on the 18th. Now I should say this. Remember, the Sharks love themselves some promotions. There's no Valentine's promotion to be had because everybody's off. Mm-hmm. In March, we usually see something for St. Patrick's Day. Well, the Sharks play on St. Patrick's Day at Los Angeles. Mm-hmm. So we'll see how that rolls. Going back to, there's obviously Thanksgiving and Christmas, but we'll see how that rolls. But those are 2 that are specific. When is, and let me pull up my handy dandy schedule. So this year, or I shouldn't say this year, 2022. This didn't work out either. Okay, I'm going to finish it out here.
Go ahead.
So middle of March, again, like I said, St. Patrick's Day at LA. Then the very next night, so a back-to-back that is a road and a home. They host Colorado, host Arizona, then a couple up in Western Canada. I'm fine with that. At Calgary, at Edmonton. Come home to host Anaheim, to turn around and go at Arizona, at Colorado. Again, I don't have a problem with that because there's extra days built in between Anaheim and Arizona, so I'm fine with that.
Ooh.
But you get that 3 so at Arizona, at Colorado to start off April.
That if baseball doesn't start till after April, there for you baseball fans who want to go to spring training, there's a game for you.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Start off April on this. Not playing on April Fool's Day this year. April 2nd, they host Dallas. That's right. Pavelski. Oh no, I'm not. I'm sorry. That's what is it? Shellman. And in fact, now that I'm looking at this, where the hell is the at? Oh, it's at the end. So we play Dallas, host Dallas twice. So Pavelski will make his first return to the tank back on December 11th. But anyway, second time, the 2nd of April, then hosting Edmonton, hosting Calgary, at Vancouver, and again, silliness in the schedule. Host Edmonton on Tuesday, host Calgary on a Thursday, host Vancouver on a Saturday to return home to host Vegas on a Sunday.
Right.
Like, we couldn't have moved that Calgary game up to Wednesday, but fine. Then the Sharks, their longest road trip of April at Chicago, kind of northern part of the States. Then at Nashville, southern part. Then Dallas, a scotch west.
Oh my God.
Then the next day at Minnesota,
Are you
back up near Chicago. So again, that's another one that I look at and I go, what the fuck are you guys doing?
Holy hell. I mean,
like, how do you not have, Minnesota? I don't know. It's just silly to start near, pretty fucking close to the Canada border, then head down to the Gulf of Mexico for 2, and then head back up closer to the Canadian border.
And that's 4 games in 6 nights.
Yeah.
That's absolutely ridiculous. And right down the stretch for a playoff stretch. I mean...
Oh, shit. Hold on. I see we have a super chat. That supersedes everything.
Oh, yeah. You were on a roll, so I didn't want to say. Skylar, kind of going on my point about, expanding the playoff rule. From Skylar, $5 super chat donation. Thank you very much. It goes to help support the show. As always, Skylar, he says to do a balanced 2 Eastern team, 3 Central, 4 Pacific, you would need to add 6 games to the schedule and make it 88. Doable? To me, absolutely. First off, the owners need hockey-related revenue, so expanding it by 6 games, I think you absolutely do that. You maybe add 4 preseason games. Maybe just do 4.
NHLPA is never going to agree to that.
Do they want hockey-related revenue? I mean, how many years are we going to go with just a flat cap?
Dude, they're not going to increase the schedule by 6 games and still have, a 6-game preseason, depending on who you are. Because some teams are playing 6, some teams are playing 7. If anything, I'd see a reduction before that. But
no, absolutely. You
but
go for
but
preseason.
you talked about revenue.
Yeah, bingo. 6 regular season
Again,
games in
I would
butts and
see
seats.
I would see the NHL go to everybody plays, or, like, okay, let's use the Sharks as an example. They play every Central, Atlantic, and Metro team twice. Then the rest of the schedule is spread out among their division. I would see that before what Skylar is putting forth.
So it'd be 2 times 24 would be 48, and then 4 games against 7 teams, which would be
24 and 48.
Would be 72.
No, I'm sorry, 28 and 48. Because 7 times 4, 28.
Yep. So 28 plus 48.
48.
That gets you 76.
76. So I would see that before anything. Or, 76, right? Is what you said?
Mm-hmm.
Add 7.
And then you get 83. You increase
83.
it by a
So
game.
Increase it by 1 game, and then that way you're even across all boards. You play the Central, Atlantic, and Metro home and away, 1-1, and then you have an even series against your rivals.
Yep.
So anyway,
moving on.
Moving on. So anyway, like I said, where was I?
Chicago, Nashville, Dallas, Minnesota.
Oh yeah, the road trip.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the big U. And then hosting Columbus, St. Louis, and Chicago. Finally, 3 of 4 ending the season on the road at Vegas, hosting Anaheim. And again, this is another one of these silly ones where it's like, yeah, okay, let's go to Vegas, then come home to host Anaheim, then go up to Edmonton, and then at Seattle. At least at Edmonton and at Seattle is somewhat convincing.
But again, like we talked about Anaheim and LA being back-to-back, this should have been Vancouver and Seattle back-to-back.
You're correct. Again,
ridiculous.
So look, that's kind of it for this one. I just again, the thing when this schedule came out, 30 minutes late, I should add
54 technically.
Yeah, when this schedule came out, I looked at it and I was just kind of, there were some things that stuck out where it was like, hey, you know what? 5-game roadie to essentially start it. Okay, I have no problem with that. The Sharks have done that before. Hey, get it out of the way early. But again, I look at this and I'm going, why is it that no fucking East Coast team visits San Jose after March? That pisses me off, to be quite honest with you. Aside from Florida. Like, why is it that all those teams are coddled? Why is Toronto and Ottawa and Boston and the Rangers and the Devils, Capitals, why are they not coming out to San Jose in March and April? Remember, what was it, the 2016 Stanley Cup final when the Sharks played the Penguins? Mm-hmm. Wasn't it something that it was Penguins. Like between MLK Day and like the start of the final, the Penguins had never left their own fucking time zone?
Yep. They hadn't gone like almost 5 months without playing outside the Eastern time zone.
So it's like, if you want to try to balance the schedule, have the Pacific teams head to the Eastern Seaboard early in the schedule and have the Eastern teams go to the Pacific Seaboard during the later part of the schedule. If you really, truly want to balance this shit out.
Or have them play, like in the divisions. I remember right after the canceled season, they kind of clustered the teams, and back then they had smaller divisions. So I think they had like the Southeast Division was coming here, and that was a 5-game homestand for the Sharks. And then I think they went to the Northeast Division, where it was like Toronto, Ottawa, Buffalo, Montreal, Boston, or something like that of sort. Have that take care of that bunch, and then boom, that's one part of the schedule you're done. Move on. You don't have to go on a 16-game road trip, which of course I know you're not suggesting, but to have like these 3 clusters of Eastern road trips, get them out of the way.
Yeah, I'm fine with this when I look at it where it's like, Montreal, Ottawa, Toronto, Boston. Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Like they've done better with that. Chicago to New Jersey to New York to the Ranger, or I'm sorry, Chicago to the Devils to the Isles to the Rangers and then Columbus on the way home. I'm fine. I'm completely fine with that road trip, especially because the Islanders and the Rangers are back to back. It's like, yes, that fucking makes geographical sense. But this whole, start in Chicago, go down to Nashville, scooch over to Dallas, come back up to Minnesota.
And then go home.
Yeah.
And have one day off, and then you play Columbus.
Yeah. Or at Pittsburgh, then go west to Detroit, go back northeast to Buffalo, then southeast to Philly, and then,
I guarantee you right now, AJ, I'm going to, tell me I'm wrong, which is one of our favorites.
No, whip it out.
They're going to complain about being tired because these road trips are ridiculous by middle of the season. No, but I mean, this is, I think, honestly, at this point, once we've gone through the schedule, they have a legitimate gripe about this.
Some of it, yes. But like we've noted earlier, there are some pockets that have been, put in here. There are I don't want to hear the Sharks bitching about we don't have time to practice.
No, they have time to practice.
There are some pockets. No, there's some pockets in here you can easily fit a practice in.
Yep.
So anyway, I think that's kind of wraps it up on the schedule. Hope to see everybody at the tank.
Oh, can't wait.
It does feel a little bit weird though. Like in October, basically the first 27 days of October, there's one home game. That feels a little weird, but it is what it is. A couple things to get into really quickly. For those of you who are unaware, and where the hell are you? Rudolph's Balcers signed a 2-year extension worth a 1.55 AAV. You love to see it.
Yeah.
I mean, $1.5 million for the next 2, for next year and the year after that. And proven, it seems to be at the very least a top 9 forward. Now, when I say proven, it's proven against who he's skating with. Does that mean that Kevin LeBanc is not worth his 4 point whatever? Perhaps. Mm-hmm. It's debatable. But anyway, that is what that is. But I love that signing. Joachim Blichfeld signed a 1-year extension, a $750,000. I mean, essentially league minimum. It's a 2-way deal, so they can send him down and give him $75,000.
Yeah.
But I like that. We're gonna see. We're gonna see what happens.
Thomas in the chat, the return of my balls hurt.
Yeah, my ball. Well, okay. What was that? That was it was Balcers, Hurdle, and Meyer.
Meyer.
Yeah. Sure. Why not? Well, I don't know. It's been a lot of speculation from Kevin Kurz that Meyer might be on his way out. Would I have a problem with that? I don't know that I would.
And he's linking potentially New Jersey, which
getting him with Nico Hischier, right?
Yeah, but who are you getting back for Timo?
Addition by subtraction.
But here's the thing, though, AJ, of the top 10 players that went in that Super 2015 draft. I mean, are you essentially saying Meyer is a bust? That he couldn't fit in with his team? Well,
the last 2 years would say that. Let's see what he does. Let's see what he does next year, whether it's with the Sharks or with another team. But if he continues on a downward trajectory, I think you at least need to consider saying that.
In that $10 million qualifying offer in a few years.
And again, everybody knows.
Right.
I'm not a Karlsson fan. What happens if Karlsson has yet another subpar season? 3 of 5. let's see. Dude, I am hoping. I put like everybody's. Oh, you're just a Karlsson hater. No, I'm not. I'm a fucking realist. I am looking at the numbers. I'm looking at what he's doing on the ice. If he comes into camp this October and is just, yoked, ready to go, like has 8 points in the first 10 games, I'm going to be like, okay, yes, this is the Karlsson we've all been waiting for. This is the guy, but the thing is, I am waiting to sit here and say, this is the Karlsson we've been waiting for. I'm so happy to see this.
Right.
That, the last 2 years, it kind of sucked, and there's injury history and blah, 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 blah. But the thing that kind of like, puts the pipe up your ass is the fact that there are people that have been riding Karlsson's jock for the last 3 years that can't admit that he's been subpar.
Yep.
So I am waiting. I am hoping to admit, hey, you know what? Look at him. I expected nothing from Karlsson this year. Yeah, or at least nothing better than the last 2 years, and look at what he's done now. So holy shit. Remember how much of a Brendan Dillon, again, I don't want to say hater because I think that's a retarded phrase or descriptor, but I wasn't the biggest Brendan Dillon fan the first couple of years.
No.
And then he made me a believer.
He bust his butt. His skating got better. His defensive play got better. And
yes. Yeah. Everything about his game got better. Mm-hmm. And I was like, yes, okay, now we're talking. Like, this is a guy that I said from the get-go, not a fan. The eye test, yes, stats are one thing, just like, the dash stat. Look, stats are one thing, but there's also the eye test. I was looking at that eye test, and I'm going, Brendan Dillon, buddy, I need more from you. I need more. And then all of a sudden, those last couple of years with San Jose, holy shit, this guy. And then when they let him, when he ended up going to Washington, I was like, no, but I love him now. He's great. It's he made me a fan. I'm waiting for Erik Karlsson to do this. And I just don't think he's ever going to make me a fan. And so my point is, we get next April, if the Sharks miss the playoffs for the third straight season, which is
a possibility,
a complete possibility, because most of the well-known prognosticators, to insert Twitter handle here, whether it's Pierre LeBrun or Darren Dreger, whoever, right? Everybody says Vegas 1, Edmonton 2. Then 3 could be a combination of Calgary, Vancouver, and Seattle. Yeah. Because, I hate to break it to you people, Seattle's not done. What you saw yesterday was just the beginning.
Don't believe what NBCSportsCalifornia.com says.
Who?
Yeah, the one that says, Seattle's not going to, hinder the Sharks' playoff chances.
Right. So that's my point, is that if the Sharks miss for the third straight season, which I think is completely possible, let's say Aiden Hill rocks for the first, month and a half, right, and then all of a sudden has a dip. We don't know who the backup's going to be right now. You think it's going to be Melnichuk? I don't think so. So let's see what else happens. Again, there's going to be a lot of things that go on between now and October whatever with this quirky goddamn schedule.
Yeah.
What is it? October 16th. Yeah. And that, by the way, I still haven't seen the goddamn preseason schedule.
Well,
I still haven't seen that.
We still I'm checking for an
I've
update.
Seen 5 of the games.
Still checking on an update from NHL.com, and we still don't have a schedule on the website.
So all I know is the Sharks play Vegas twice, and they played the SoCal teams 3 times. I don't know who gets to. I think they play the Ducks twice and LA once.
Yeah.
I'm going to assume that there's one more game minimum against Arizona. Either way, the Sharks, I don't know why you guys are always last to the party to release shit. I don't understand what benefit it serves, what purpose it holds for you.
Does Jonathan Becker need us to help out or some sort?
It's not Bex. I don't know why. I think this is like a franchise that you know what? The culture in the front office needs to change with this last thing. Anyway,
Hey-ho.
yeah. Well, but we'll see what happens. But for me, if we get to the 41 game mark, we get halfway through this season, and Erik Karlsson, we're 41 games in. If he hasn't cracked 30 points by then, like, can somebody just look? I'll leave the fucking front door open, and you can just back the cookie truck up to my house. All right, I've been calling this guy a bust since the extension. I didn't mind the trade,
right.
Norris and Balsers and all those pieces to get Praplon, or no, not Praplon. What was the guy's name? Perron and Karlsson here. I didn't mind that. It was the goddamn 8-year extension I had a problem with, that term and that money. And so far, he has yet to play for that. And the thing is that there's going to be those people on Twitter that sit there and go, that try to espouse the virtues of Erik Karlsson.
Yeah.
And that's great. But and again, the amount of follows you have are not the end all be all of your knowledge. Not saying that by any stretch. There are people with 30 follows that have far better takes than somebody with 30,000 follows. That said, I've had people come at me, on Twitter. Oh, you're just a hater. No, I'm not a fucking hater. I'm someone who lives in reality and looks at what I'm seeing. It's like, I look at what I see on the ice. I look at what I see on the stats. Erik Karlsson has yet to play to his contract. And the thing is there are people who are paid money to talk about this. Not the dweebs on Twitter. People are paid money to talk about this. And they are saying the same things I am. If Erik Karlsson shits the bed yet again, if he's not at 30 points by the halfway mark, explain to me, Eric, how do you not call this deal a bust?
Yeah.
How do you not at least put it up that this could quite possibly be the worst deal that Doug Wilson has ever thrown out?
Right now, yeah. I mean,
I think you could say that right now.
Yeah, you could say that right now. And just for shiggles, I thought, okay, let's play on cap friendly and look at what it would be to buy out his contract.
Fuck buyouts. No.
But
fucking wear that anchor around your neck for the entire time.
It doesn't even make sense because two of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 years that if you were to buy him out right now, 2 of the years you're paying his full salary.
Yeah, no.
It's not even worth it. So unless he gets his crap together or they win the big shiny thing, which let's be honest, the big shiny thing kind of changes, how we feel on a lot of things, but that's not anywhere time. Oh, well, let's be honest here, then that kind of goes away. But if you're not going to play to your potential, thankfully you heard on the call last night that he's been working out along with other players. Let's hope this gets him going, because I guarantee you, October 16th against Winnipeg, when they're introducing the team, you can't tell me they're going to be cheering Erik Karlsson when Danny Miller says, number 65, Erik Karlsson.
Dude, on opening night on October 16th, I wouldn't be surprised if you hear a decent amount of boos.
No, that's what I'm saying.
When Chief is introduced. Yeah. No, you're absolutely right there. And to be honest, I'm going to be there opening night, and I'm going to be fucking booing when that name is introduced, because for me, value for dollar, he's done shit.
And
tell me I'm wrong. Tell me that's the whole thing. No, tell me I'm wrong.
No, I'm not.
Come at me on Twitter. Show your work.
You're not wrong. The other question too is now that we are out of the roster freeze, Martin Jones. You have till the 27th, the night before.
Mr. .896.
Yeah, I mean, you you have until Tuesday to buy him out for this part one of the buyout period.
It's going to happen.
Then why hasn't it?
Well, you know what? You actually make a good point there. And this is something I talked to Jerk about, where it's kind of like, I wouldn't be surprised if the Sharks just sit there and go, look, we can't find financially, we can't find the guy that we want to be the 1B or the 2A, whatever you want to call it, the guy behind Adin Hill. We only got 3 more years of this guy. Is it 3 or 2?
I believe it's 3.
I feel like it's 3 as well. So it's like, we only have 3 more years of this guy. He's not horrific when he's a backup. The stats with LA will prove that. When he only has to play 25 games a season, he's okay. So, and maybe that's the thing that gets you out of that deal faster than anything. That's something that I brought up to Jerk, but Jerk was very much like, no, you buy him out yesterday. And I'm not that I'm saying that I disagree, but anyway,
he's here through 2024. His buyout, the buyout, according to Cap Friendly, if you were to buy him out right now, you'll have 2 years cap hit, over almost $2.5 million. But the other ones, 1.9 this season, 2.4.
No, the last 3 years,
1.67. That's tolerable.
Yeah, no, the last 3 years are fine, especially because you would think by that time the cap is going to go up.
You hope.
Like that should be tip money by then.
Right.
But you look at it as a case of, look, Doug Wilson, Jonathan Becker, everybody at the Sharks, they're going to sit there and go, no, we're not rebuilding. We're resetting, because they're trying to sell tickets. Right. And I appreciate what they're trying to do. Again, I'm somebody that looks at stats, but it's the eye test. And I look at this roster as it is currently assembled. What's the difference? You're going to tell me that Adin Hill is going to get you 20 more wins next season when the 19 guys in front of him are all the same? Are you going to tell me that?
Well, you need to get him signed first.
Well, that too. And if you're Adin Hill's agent, how are you not bending Wilson over a barrel because you know how dire things are?
Exactly.
So maybe that makes Doug Wilson pay more than he should. We've seen that before. So, look, remains to be seen. There's a long road between July 22nd and October 16th. Calendar-wise, if you own one, it's almost 3 months. But I'm just saying that it's going to be a long road. So I think that's where we should wrap it up for now. It's not like we're not going to have shit to talk about once free agent frenzy happens. I will be talking to Drew Remenda. Who? Drew Remenda in about the next week or so, once the dust has settled. But the one thing that I did want to talk about tonight before we end, Mike Milbury spoke with the Boston Globe.
Oh, shit. Here we go.
Mike, now, if you all remember Mike Milbury when we were back in the bubble, Brian Boucher was discussing life in the bubble during an Islanders Capitals broadcast and concluding that the no fan, no family bubble was a perfect place to help teammates bond and have good competition. Mike Milbury said, hey, not even any women here to disrupt the concentration. That's it. It's 9 words. Chief got fired. Now, did what he say come off a little misogynistic? Yeah, it did. Was it worth getting fired? In my opinion, no. And so part of his interview with the Boston Globe, he made some solid points. Um, he said, I want to explain the comment from that day. As a player, coach in the league, I've been on a lot of road trips around a lot of guys that are young, fit, well compensated, have celebrity status. And when they go on the road, they play hard and they party hard. And a lot of their attention is on women. And I certainly don't mean that in a bad way. Now I read that and I'm thinking, yeah, rock stars, bitch. So Milbury goes on and says, now I get it. Everybody else has other ways to party, but that's my experience and I stand by it. It's biology. Sometimes their lust for companionship could be a distraction. I didn't think there was anything wrong with the comment, but apparently it was to other people, and I got dismissed from my job. And then he gets into a whole canceled thing, and I'm not going to go into that whole thing because that's completely political. But his point being was, what if I had said there aren't any dogs here to distract the players, Mark Edward Vlasic, or any wives or children? Do I have to describe the whole pantheon of the human race in order to be politically correct? I didn't feel like I was offending anybody. You know, has your wife ever been a distraction in your life? And I hope you give me the right answer when you answer. And I'll be the first one here to say, yeah, my wife has distracted me. And I'm quite sure that I've distracted her. Now, was I playing sports, professional sports? Was I playing a game that I was being paid to play when she distracted me? No. But I'm not a professional sports player. But either way, I feel like Milbury made some solid points. Am I a Milbury fan? Not really. You know, I wasn't the biggest fan of Milbury. You know, that whole NBC crew. Milbury, Pierre, of course, fuck him. Doc Emmerich can like take a long walk off a short pier for as much as I care. But again, like for what Roenick got fired for, what Milbury got fired for, I don't agree with it. I can kind of get why. I don't have to agree with it. But anyway, on the Boston Globe, if you're interested to read more on that, there it is. But I thought Milbury made some solid points there. I thought it was making a mountain out of a molehill. That said, we don't have Milbury on the broadcast anymore, bitches.
Thank God.
But then again, we have the technical smorgasbord that we had to live through for the NFL draft or for the draft for the Kraken yesterday. So what would you prefer? Because holy shit, what a tire fire that was.
That's right. The Carolina Panthers are still on the clock. I didn't know we had two teams in Carolina either. So,
dude, the fact that the Panthers and the Canes both had fun, so, I mean, good on them.
Absolutely.
Good on them. But there were a few people. It's like, look, did Sean, what's his name? Sean Kemp completely butcher Jonas's name? Yes, he did. And there were a couple people after I like posted the video of that. A couple of people said, hey man, he's had history with substance abuse or whatever. It's like, so how long did he have to put that goddamn name together? Are you going to tell me that they handed him the card 5 seconds before he walked out? Like, dude, he could have gotten it together.
And
somebody could have came up to him and said, okay, Jonas Donskoy. Like all they had to do is whisper that in his ear like 3 straight times. Jonas Donskoy. And what did he come out and say? Jonas Donskoy.
Yeah, it's like I thought he mentioned Vince Scully, you know, with it.
Dude,
you know, like, come on.
All of a sudden it was Joe. Like all of a sudden I'm going, okay, how do I pronounce this now? So capital JOE hyphen NISS. And then the second name is going to be lowercase DUN hyphen SCOEY. You know, Jonas Dinskoy. It's like, dude.
Yeah, like
again,
said,
I don't want to get into a whole fucking political thing about this because I don't think it is political.
No.
I just, like, look, I understand where you're trying to come at me on Twitter. That's fine. But to sit there and go, let's give this guy a pass because he's had issues with addiction. There are people that haven't had issues with addiction that mispronounce names in a key moment. Why don't we give them a pass? Just saying. And again, I don't want to make this a political thing. It was something funny that happened in the moment. We all had a good laugh at it. It's fine. And we all move on. The fact that anybody wants to make it political, or he had, the poor guy had addiction issues. Well, then shouldn't the NHL have been aware of that and said, maybe we don't use him and use somebody else?
No, I mean,
don't throw somebody else's poor decision on me because I have fun with it. And I didn't mean anything in a malicious or vindictive way.
Well, I mean, the league should have been prepared. Seattle should have been prepared. ESPN should have been prepared. Right. And
now that said, Gary Payton looked like he could play tomorrow.
Yeah. And damn it, we lost two Sharks fans in the expansion draft, along with Alex True.
And could we not get Sean Kemp a fucking shirt that fit? I wasn't the only one saying that, so come for other people, okay? There's a lot of people saying that, but it's like, well, it's been nice. Oh, okay. Finally, to wrap this to wrap this whole thing up, how happy were you to see that all the Kraken players that were there were given pro stock jerseys?
Oh, those are beautiful. And I had messaged Eric Bottomer, who works for Adidas Hockey that we know, and those look freaking sick.
Dude, they look that white one. I think it's because it's got that navy blue outline. It appears slightly larger, but dude, again, I said this last night during the expansion draft coverage. Whew, it's one of those few teams where the aways look better. The aways look better. That huge S is sick as fuck.
Yeah, Adidas did a hell of a job on that one. So, with that, in case you missed anything, you already want to watch this again, check us out on tealtownusa.com or your favorite podcatcher, whether it's Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, YouTube, SoundCloud, Spotify, TuneIn, iHeartRadio. Of course, you can always check it out on tealtownusa.com. I'm getting that post ready to go. So, with that, I'll steal your line from Pucknologist because it's been forever since I've done a show with you. I'm at PuckGuy14 on the Twitter machine. He's at AJ_Strong on the Twitter and the Instagram. Famous last words, good sir.
What's the next thing we're talking about?
Oh, we have the draft.
When's that?
We have that tomorrow. We'll be live. Okay. We'll be doing a live feed or a live reaction.
Promote. You have to promote.
Well, I was trying to give you some words. Then I was going to promote.
No, promote it, babe.
So tomorrow or Friday, we'll be on around 5 o'clock.
Tomorrow is Friday.
That's either way. We'll be talking, be on live reaction to see the first 7 picks or wherever the Sharks fall. Please do not trade down.
We'll see.
And then after the final pick, we'll be on to recap round 1, and then Saturday night we'll recap the Sharks picks and see where they go from there. We'll be live reaction on Wednesday up until about maybe 2 o'clock for Free Agent Frenzy. You said you're going to be talking to Drew Remenda. If you need somebody else to help you, call me. Actually, probably would Paul Puckmom, who thinks he's a stud muffin and a half. So
no, chances are I'll be talking to Drew next, basically a week from tonight. Like once all the dust is settled and we can look at who Seattle took, what happened. Again, I'm going to ask Drew about Aiden Hill, what the Sharks did in the draft, the moves that they've made since then. We talked about it earlier with Balsers and Blickfeld. I'm sure that is just the tip of the iceberg. We're going to hear at least a couple more things come out of the Sharks. So, yeah, I plan on talking to one Mr. Stud Muffin next Thursday with any luck.
So, All right, now famous last words, AJ.
With that's pretty much it. Again, I look at the schedule. My famous last words are going to be, for all the talk that Gary Bettman and other NHL people mentioned, that the players, the teams, so many really enjoyed the idea of playing 2-3 games in one location. This schedule is stupid. I mean, literally, the Sharks do it once, and there's 5 days in between. I look at that now. I want to dive into some other schedules, because here's the thing that I'm nervous about, is that I'm going to look at the Boston schedule or the Toronto or the New York teams, or those Eastern Quadrant teams that have so much. They benefit so much from their geographical location. I'm going to look at that, and I guarantee you, I'm going to fucking look at their schedules, and it's going to be like, oh yeah, Pittsburgh hosts the Rangers like 3 times in 4 days, or whatever. Like, it's going to be something stupid.
Or they're going to
There's
hit like
no
the Islanders, Rangers,
way.
Devils in like 4 days.
No, it's not even that. But it's just like, look at this. Look at this. Vancouver, twice. That's it. Twice. That's the only team that the Sharks face back to back in a similar situation. Like, you could even say, we saw what was it last season before? There was a couple times where it's like the Sharks went to Western Canada to either face, the Oil, Canucks, whatever, and then like 2 days later they hosted that same team. There was back to backs at different locations. That's fine. But Bettman came out, and there were so many people that talked that this mini series, yes, this is something that needs to happen in the schedule going forward, especially because it will help balance the schedule. And what happens? It comes out
looking like that
fucking time. It comes out, and there's 5 days in between the two.
And Vancouver does it back to back.
Yeah, you already went and looked. It's not as if the Canucks are spending 5 days in the South Bay. Yeah. Like, they have other shit to do.
They have a back-to-back with Toronto and Arizona, and then they come back.
Now, that said, does it help the Sharks because they're going to be at home for like 4 days and have nothing going on except practicing special teams? Yes, sure. I enjoy that part of it, but I feel like you understand my point. There was all this stuff. I was expecting a lot, at least three. Again, we go back to the numbers. Calgary 4 times, Anaheim 4 times, LA 4 times, Seattle 4 times. I was expecting at least 2 of those, that it would be like the Sharks are going to play Calgary, on Tuesday, November 9th, and then Wednesday the 10th or Thursday the 11th. Like both of those games would be at Calgary, and then later in the schedule, it would be, the Sharks are going to play at Anaheim on February 6th, and then also on February 7th or March 6th. You get what I'm saying.
Right.
I just the fact that they couldn't figure that out. But again, we're talking about a schedule maker who can't fucking figure out when to host the Sharks on a Saturday night in SoCal. It is what it is. Get me the fuck out of here. Dude, I'm so pissed. Like, dude, I'm going to go fucking, I'm going to shotgun a beer and then get on Discord and then really let people have it.
Oh boy. Here we go. The conversation.
We're going to be on Discord after, is what I'm saying.
Oh boy. Yeah. You have fun with that.
And can we talk about Donskoy's interview on NHL radio for a hot second? My favorite quote: "I've never been with such a skilled and hardworking group as I did in Colorado. That's the reason why I signed with the Avalanche after 4 years with the Sharks."
Oh, mic drop.
Dude, I can't even see the sun, all that shade. Anyway, see you on Discord.
He'll be on Discord. I'll see you tomorrow following at the beginning of the draft and after the draft. And then, of course, we'll recap on Saturday night. Until then, take care. Keep it real. Keep it teal. Keep it real, teal. Have a good night, everyone.